Hello, welcome back to the We Are City channel, to the FC25 Manchester City career mode, which will be the penultimate episode of Season 2 and the final 4 games of Pep Guardiola's career in charge of Manchester City and club management. We sit 2 points clear at the top of that Premier League table of Tottenham Hotspur, who are right hot on our heels to try and win this league title ahead of us. Just like last year, where they tried to the end, but they didn't do. It's the same again. 4 games remain to decide who are the winners, and I'm hoping it will be our 6th successive title on the bounce. Sure, to get out then. Opening game of today's episode is against Wolves, who sit in 10th place, away to Molineux, a place City have a terrible record. There's unfortunately a lot of injuries in this Manchester City side at this moment, and this is the side we do go with. So Edison will start and goal. It's Rodri, Akanji and Guardiola, the back 3. Lewis and Bayena in the midfield 2. Bob on the right, Doku on the left. And it's Florian Wirtz and Claudio Echeverri supporting Erling Haaland up top. On the bench we've got Kyogo. Foden is on the bench today after some really poor performances since he returned from injury. Mateus Nunes, Maximo Piron, Stones, Ake, Diaz and Sidibe. Still no Savinho, no Mbeumo will miss both the end of the season. And no Varela either, who is coming back from injury. But worryingly, Mbeumo's decreased by 1 already, and so has Savinho in their development, which is not good to see. So Manchester City versus Wolves here at Molineux Stadium. City come up against the side that are in 10th place in mid-table in the Premier League and have had pretty a successful season, considering in real life they're down in the bad area, aren't they? Down at the bottom of the Premier League table. This is the side then for Wolves that they put out against us. Gary O'Neill goes to the back 4 and not a back 5. Alvaro Valles starts and goal. It's Semedo, Mosquera, Aidu and Aït-Nouri the back 4. Andre and Lamina in the field 2, and then it's Lambiska, Sarabia and Kern Campbell in behind Patrick Schick up top. Force them back here, and Haaland could nick it, and he has nicked it, and Haaland does nick it, and Haaland across to Echeverri, terrible pass. Wirtz in there to get it out to Doku. Echeverri back into Bob again here. Oscar Bob for City, runs across the box here. Bob. Bayena is there. Bayena on the header, and he heads it wide the post. I'm aiming far post on the volley, and Bayena goes to the header instead. Just can't break them down. They've got every player behind the ball. Echeverri, away from Aït-Nouri. Cross comes in, it's not a bad one. Doku is there. Down to Bayena, in the box here, Bayena. Bayena gets the shot off, it's blocked away. Doku pressing and Wolves get it away half-time. 0-0 at Molineux, and a draw here today. I think on goal difference we might be ahead of Spurs, but it's starting to get very worrying. City pushing to try and get the ball off this opposition team. Wolves have kept possession very well. Played it back, and Haaland's nicked it. And Haaland onto Echeverri. And Claudio Echeverri makes it 1-0 Manchester City. An assist for Haaland, which is unselfish of him. And Echeverri scores a massive goal for Manchester City. Absolutely massive goal for the club. Brilliant. Good tackle by Haaland. It's through to Echeverri. And he hits it first time off the post and then cracks it. Brilliant finish by Claudio Echeverri. Manchester City in front at Molineux. Big mistake by Wolves at the back. It doesn't matter how we do it at the moment, as long as we do it. And we're 1-0 up against Wolves here. 60th minute goal from Echeverri. An assist for Erling Haaland, who really good play from Haaland. He pressed high. He won it back. Bayena in towards Wirtz here. There's trouble again for Wolves here. Wirtz into Haaland. In behind to Bob. It's a terrible ball by Haaland. Back out to Echeverri. On towards Oscar Bob. Lifts it. Haaland attacks it. Cleared away. Wide to Bob. Ball out wide towards Haaland here. Back onto Doku. Doku across the box here. There was no one in the middle anyway. It's behind for a corner. Oscar Bob to take it. Bob in. Haaland across the near post into the hands of Ayers. We're going to make changes here. Wide towards Echeverri. Trouble for the opposition. Echeverri. Back to Haaland. 2-0 City. Come on. Haaland makes it 2-0. We are going to win at Wolves here. To Echeverri. Pulls it back to Haaland. First time finish on the right foot. 32nd of the Premier League season for Erling Haaland. 2-0 Manchester City. Come on, that's a big goal. Echeverri and Haaland, they combine so well together, those two. Why doesn't Florian Wirtz hit this? He's got the quality to hit this, I think, Florian Wirtz. Up and over the wall. Just lift it in towards Erling Haaland. Diaz! Oh! Ruben Diaz, how's he not scored? On to Doku. Doku burst down his far side. Doku past Aït-Nouri. Doku. Florian Wirtz on the volley in over the bar by Valles. What a chance. What a save. Oh, good ball in towards Patrick Schick here. Rodri's across. Good challenge by Rodri. Echeverri back towards Guardiola. Back into Florian Wirtz. And that is full time. We start the episode with a big 2-0 win over Wolves, which is a massive result. The stage are at the moment. And I think with that result, these players can start to feel the title coming our way. Back to winning ways. We've got to keep it up now. But I think we can outdo Spurs into the Premier League title. I genuinely do. And it's bad news for Manuel Akanji because his Manchester City season is over. A 4-month injury, or 4-week injury with a sprained knee is him out. And he won't play again for us this season. And the injuries have all just seemed to come massively at the end of it. I can't believe another injury. So Manchester City are 2 points clear of the Premier League table going to the final 3 games of the season. Let's see the 3 games we have in store. Sheffield United at home, a game we'll simulate, and then we'll play the final 2 games of the season away to Crystal Palace and at home to Burnley. Sheffield are already relegated, but the final 2 games will be difficult. Selhurst Park away can't be easy. Burnley at home might be just where we get to see the rest of the title. And can Pep Guardiola lead Manchester City with a 6th successive title in a row? 7 or 8 Premier League titles under him himself. It's frustrating that City have been, poor at times in the Champions League, in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, but his legacy is something that no one else will achieve in the Premier League. Next to Sheffield United at home, and Manchester City do come away with a win, but only just. A 1-0 win over Sheffield, a massive win, a clean sheet, and a goal scraped from Phil Foden in midfield gives City the 3 points and pushes that bit closer to the Premier League title. Well, this is massive news because Tottenham Hotspur have dropped points, but where did Tottenham drop points? A 1-1 draw with Leicester City. Leicester, who are down in 16th place, fighting for relegation with Burnley, Sheffield United, Southampton and Leeds United, meaning that we're now 4 points clear, and a win today against Crystal Palace away at Selhurst Park would make us lift the Premier League title and confirm us as Premier League champions. Well, Spurs have done us a massive favour. It takes the pressure off a little bit. We've got to go there and win. This aside for away at Crystal Palace there. Ederson will start. Ingle is Diaz, captain, Rodri and Vardiol, the back 3. We've got Varela and Baena partnering in midfield 2, with Bob on the right, Doku on the left, and it's Wirtz and Echeverri in behind Haaland up top. On the bench, Kyogo, Foden, Nunez, Lewis, Maximo Pirone, Sidibe, Ake and John Stones. Still no one Burmo, Savinho, and of course now no Akanji either. But at Selhurst Park, Manchester City find themselves 1 win away from 6 successive Premier League titles, which is unheard of. They'd never been done 4 in a row before. 5 in a row was done last year by us, and 6 in a row could be completed today. So this is the Crystal Palace side in a 5-2-3 formation for Arnold Glasner. In goal starts Dean Henderson. It's a back 5 of Monoith, Holding, Pavard, Mancini and also Leif Davis, Lerma and Ducour in the midfield 2, Richarlison, Shelder Schlupp and also Politano in that front line. The likes of Eze and Ketia Sarr on the bench. Wouldn't put us in a bad position really going to the final game against Burnley needing a win. Varela, great win by Varela. Brilliant in midfield. Here's Haaland. Wide to Wirtz. Back in behind to Haaland here. It's Erling Haaland to start this one. 1-0 City. Brilliant from us. And Haaland gives us a lead. His 32nd, 33rd goal of the season so far. 2 games remaining. He's not going to hit his record of last year, I don't think. But he plays that wide to Wirtz. Back into Haaland. And he finished it in the near post. And it's Alan Varela in midfield. Working hard and winning the ball back for City. Haaland makes it 32 for the season. Manchester City are in front here. A very effective press, and Baena with a foot in again, and City do it again. And Haaland, and on to Wirtz again. And City have done it again here. And Echeverri to the far post. And he's there, Echeverri. Wirtz finds him, 2-0 City. The press has been fantastic today. Alan Varela has led it in that midfield with Baena. And those two have been on it all game, absolutely on it. And Wirtz across the box. And Echeverri at the far post to score again. And he has been insane, Claudio Echeverri. Absolutely incredible this season. What a player. And look at this, an early change. After 20 minutes, Eze is coming on for Lerma. Away from Eze, brilliant. Echeverri in behind towards Bob and across the box here and just cleared away. Echeverri back out here to Varela. Great play from Manchester City. Varela's done very good in midfield. I mean, he's such an underrated player. Baena. Echeverri. Oscar Bob. Lifts one in here towards Baena. Cleared away again. Out to Doku. Doku! Oh, a good save by Henderson. Varela. Haaland. Into Florian Wirtz. Wirtz in behind to Haaland here. Takes it well. Erling Haaland for 3-0 Manchester City. What a ball by Wirtz. And we could be back to our usual self here in the final 2 games. A win here today lifts us the title. The pressure's on. The players have stepped up. Wirtz has been very creative. What a ball over top here towards Erling Haaland. 1 touch on the right foot. And a fantastic finish from the left. He's got a double today, Erling Haaland. We just put it in that spot to the far post. To Florian Wirtz for 4-0. What a cross by Bayena. And Florian Wirtz makes it 4-0. Absolutely spectacular crossing by Bayena. 4-0 City. And this is more like it. Finally back to our usual self. The pressure's on. City are there. What a ball in by Bayena. And Florian Wirtz could have gone across the box to Echivere. But he goes and finishes at the far post anyway with a goal for himself. 4-0 Manchester City. What a performance. In the biggest game of the season. Under pressure here, Wirtz. Doku. Echivere. Echivere tries to pull a trigger. Just skip into a bit of space. Good defending by Doucouré. Haaland wins it back again. Half-time whistle goes. City are on course to lift that Premier League title. And deservedly so. Smashing Crystal Palace today. And Oscar Bob heads it down. Straight away to Doucouré. Manoif. Pressing again from City in this midfield. Bayena. What a win again by Bayena. And he runs at the opposition again, Bayena. And Bayena. In behind to Doku. Into Haaland here. Erling Haaland for 4. For 5. He's second of the day. Or he's third of the day. Falls to Oscar Bob. Great feet by Bob. Bob still. Bayena. Bayena. Control for the opposition here. Through to Haaland here in a wide area. Haaland runs at Crystal Palace. They're in trouble here. Palace. Haaland's running. Haaland. Echivere! What a miss by Echivere. Oh my word. Good feet. Eze's in. Diaz slides in the box. What a challenge. Apparently he gets the ball. Bayena into Maximo Piron. And on towards Phil Foden here. Control for Palace and Foden. Referee! On a yellow card, Mancini. Makes that challenge, isn't sent off. Wirtz. Nunez. Kyogo. Bayena! And a save by Henderson behind for another corner for City at the end of this one. The damage was done in the first half. Cross comes in. Nunez attacks it. Phil Foden with a thumping header. And the referee blows the full-time whistle. Well, a 4-0 win for Manchester City. We know what that means. Those 3 points mean Manchester City, for a 6th successive season, are Premier League champions. And that is Pep Guardiola's legacy. A treble. What, 8 Premier League titles, 6 in a row. 6 titles in a row. FA Cups, Champions League, 1 Champions League trophy, Carabao Cups as well. A domestic quadruple. This City side have done it all. And Pep Guardiola has broke all Premier League records, and something I never see, I don't think ever, we will see a team win 6 in a row again. Well, Tottenham actually had a shocker themselves, losing 3-1 to Wolves. They lost 3-1 away to Wolves and we beat them 2-0. So we are confirmed Premier League champions. It's still a battle between Spurs and Arsenal for 2nd place. And Liverpool could be in that battle as well, but that is the top 4 pretty much confirmed into the final game of the season. Down at the bottom, there is a relegation battle still on. There isn't. Sheffield are gone, Southampton are gone, and Leeds United has gone as well. Sheffield, 10 points off Burnley. Our final game of the season against Burnley, and a party atmosphere at the Etihad. As we know, we're champions and we get to lift the trophy in Pep Guardiola's last ever game as Manchester City manager. It's a goodbye to Pep Guardiola. It's a goodbye to 10 years of an era at Manchester City. And it's a goodbye to maybe the most successful time in the club's history being over. Season 3, we don't know what's going to happen, and massive changes will be coming. Well, final game of the Premier League season, this is the side we're going to go with. In goal starts, 53 rated and probably his last ever game as a footballer if he decides to retire. It's Scott Carson in goal. John Stones, Captain Rodri and Nathan Ake make up the back 3, with the futures of Ake and Stones uncertain come this end of the season. Barella and Maximo Piron start in there as well, with Doku on the right, Nunez on the left, and it's Foden and Echivere supporting Kyogo Fudiashi up top, who gets a start. Haaland on the bench alongside Florian Wirtz, Oscar Bob, Bayena, Diaz, Vardy, Sadibe, Lewis and Ederson. Still no Savinho and Burmo or Akanji, who will miss the game injured. Sidibe could make his first ever game for City, I'm not sure. But I'm looking to get Haaland on for Kyogo at some point. Let Kyogo start the game. But I want Haaland on to try and score some goals with Kyogo starting. I want Bob maybe to come on as well. And maybe we take off these players at the back to say, your time is up at the club. I'm not entirely sure, but Scott Carson in there, that is one big story for Pep Guardiola's side. So there is the Etihad Stadium. Quiet at the moment, but it is the first and game of the end. Pep Guardiola's last game as a manager. I can't believe it. His era is over. A big, big era at Manchester City that we've carried on into 2 seasons here in FC 25. Now with fans on the ground, Manchester City celebrates. The fans celebrate winning another Premier League title. A 6th successive title in a row. They've turned the Premier League into the Bundesliga, into Liga 1. And what Pep Guardiola has done, what he's achieved, the legacy he will leave at Manchester City is unbelievable. But he has decided that it is time to call it a day. And his last ever management, not just at Manchester City, but his last ever time as a club manager. He will not be managing club football anymore. He said he might manage a national team in the future. But this is his last ever game for Manchester City. And it is so, so emotional for many people, I'm sure, to see Pep Guardiola leave after 10 unbelievable years at Manchester City. The final game of the season, it's Burnley. And let's watch this side lift the Premier League title, captained by Mr. Ballon d'Or himself, Rodri. Back out towards Varela. Foden. Varela. Foden again. Pidone and on towards Nunez. Back towards Pidone. He slides one through to Nunez here. He's got Kyogo in the middle. Oh, he just had to hit it. And Tarati saves it. We should have scored there. He just had to hit that. Foden for City. On towards Pidone. It's a poor pass by Phil Foden. Rodri trying to win it in midfield here. The ball through to David Mabama. And he's in the young striker. Mabama with a strike here off the post. Back to Koleosho and wide of the post. Scott Carson wasn't getting there. Foden. In towards Nunez. Pulled it back to Kyogo. Echivere. Good feet. Doku. Kyogo is in there again. Masenio away. Only as far as Maximo Pidone. Foden. Nunez again on the overlap. Pulls it back again to Kyogo. 1-0 Manchester City. And it's Kyogo Fudiashi with a finish to give City the lead over Burnley. Good play by Nunez on that far side. He's been very, very lively today. Foden into Nunez. Pulls it back to Kyogo. And a really good first time finish past the goalkeeper. Nicely done. 1-0 Manchester City after 25 minutes. Burnley will be staying up 10 points clear of the 18th place side. Rodri slides in for the challenge. It's through to Mabama. And here's David Mabama, and he does score it. Well, the man from the former West Ham striker did a very good season on loan from us at Burnley. Scores for Scott Parker's side at the Etihad. Amdouni plays him in. Away from Stones. And no clean sheet on his final ever appearance in world football for Scott Carson. Good hit by Mabama. Ake beaten way too easily. Mabama in the box here. Scott Carson comes out to it and Burnley put it wide. Amdouni should score. Never realised. Okay, get that away. He does do. Foden counter for City here. City fans roar. Kyogo. Oh, Kyogo with a terrible pass. Very poor pass by Kyogo. Mabama. Gonna score here. Mabama makes it 2-1 Burnley before half-time. Big mistake by City at the back. And a double against his parent club by David Mabama. No way Burnley managed to keep this man. Because if we sell him, we're going to ask for big money for him. Maybe he comes in as backup to Erling Haaland next season. What a strike by Mabama. Doku, nice wide area. Very limited at times, Doku, on this game. Varela, Foden. Foden. Foden hits one! Good save by the goalkeeper behind for a corner. Very good save of the keeper. And there's Kyogo coming off for Erling Haaland for a round of applause for his final game for the club. Possibly. Haaland at the far post! Off the bench. One touch, one goal for Erling Haaland, 2-2. And he celebrates the moonbeam. Off the bench, Erling Haaland. His first touch of the game he scores. Nunez to the far post and Haaland is there. Right-footed finish. Back of the net. And Kyogo comes off for the world's best striker in Erling Haaland. 2-2. Foden. Matheus Nunes. Nunes. Haaland is there. Oh, right at the keeper. White just head it. White to Doku. Cross in. Haaland's there again. Haaland heads it wide. It's a corner. Good defending. We should be in front here. Haaland's missed a good chance. Cross in. Nathan Ake's in there. Haaland back out. Played down. Foden. Maximo Pidone. Varela. Through to Maximo Pidone. Across the box to Haaland. Oh! How have we not scored again? We've missed chances today. We shouldn't have done. Oh, Mabama's in here. David Mabama dinks Edison. Hat-trick for the young striker. Against his parent club, I tell you what. I'm looking at him and saying maybe he has to play for Manchester City next season. Maybe he's got to be part of this side because he scored a hat-trick at the Etihad. That's a brilliant finish over the goalkeeper, Edison. I'm having second thoughts about selling him on a permanent deal because he's been on loan at Burnley and he's been brilliant. A hat-trick against us, Burnley 3. Diaz well played. Varela. Well, I can take a draw, but defeating his final game at the club is a bit of a disappointment. Doku. Doku. Still going here, Doku. Doku. Haaland. Haaland shoots! Oh, Haaland misses. Foden. In behind to Haaland here. Haaland! Surely doesn't miss this one. 3-3. Haaland scores again. Come on! Good ball by Phil Foden. Good finish by Erling Haaland to make it 3-all. We haven't won the game. I'm not going to celebrate quite yet, Erling. Fouled referee there. Clear foul on Erling Haaland. Mabama's in again! And he wants his fourth at the Etihad. What a goal by Mabama! 4-3 Burnley. Haaland gives it away, and this man gets 4 goals at the Etihad. Well, he's on loan at Burnley from us. We've got to get him back next year, haven't we? I think that's as clear as anything. Oh, what is that pass? Doku into space here. 3 men in line in the box. Doku. Haaland for 4. Hat-trick for Haaland. 4-all. Erling Haaland scores again. We're not going to lose in Guardiola's last ever game. Celebrations between Scott Carson and Pep Guardiola. A hat-trick. A hat-trick for Erling Haaland in Pep Guardiola's last game as manager. Couldn't miss that one early, although I wouldn't put it past him. 4-all. Mabama scores 4. Haaland scores 3 off the bench. He's intent on scoring every time he comes forward. Rodri. Beaten by Amdouni. Back to Amdouni. Amdouni! Oh my word! Edison beating at his near post. What a crazy game to end Pep Guardiola's career at Manchester City. 5-4. Every shot on target's gone in. We should have kept Scott Carson on. We should have kept Scott Carson on. Full-time whistle goes. Manchester City 4, Burnley 5. The celebrations can start though, Manchester City. Because yes, we've lost, but we are Premier League champions for the 6th time in a row. Congratulations to the team. The players celebrate. Mabama with 4 goals there against his parent club in the final game of the season. A 5-4 defeat to Burnley. Let's forget that. Every shot on target went in. Defensively, changes need to come with a new manager who we have no idea the new manager of Manchester City is going to be. It's not been mentioned at all in this series. I haven't mentioned it at all. You'll find out in the start of the next the episode of the next series, because we want to concentrate purely on what Pep Guardiola has achieved at Manchester City and his legacy. And he's an incredible manager. He's an incredible thing to Manchester City. And this is just one more of them. 6 titles in a row. And he leaves City as the most successful manager ever in the club's history. 10 years at the club. The most successful manager in world football. And up steps Mr. Ballon d'Or himself, Rodri. Manchester City, in Pep Guardiola's last ever game, are Premier League champions. Thank you, Rodri. Thank you, Manchester City. And mainly, thank you, Pep Guardiola. This episode isn't over yet. We've still got the end of season roundup and the end of season awards to come as well, that you guys have been voting for. But I am very impressed with the side. And we, of course, have to pay tribute to our manager, Pep Guardiola, for everything he's achieved here at Manchester City. Well, title celebrations and a parade to end Pep Guardiola's era at Manchester City. The players celebrate in the streets of Manchester. 6 titles in a row. And Pep Guardiola leaves Manchester City and says goodbye to the fans here in the streets of Manchester. It's time to get into the results of the leagues around the world, the competitions we entered, and also the players' stats before those end of season awards. course, we came out on top in the Premier League, winners of the Premier League for a 6th season in a row. 84 points, 4 points clear of 2nd place Spurs and 3rd place Arsenal. We played 38 games, got 26 wins, 6 draws and 6 defeats, 91 goals scored, 40 conceded, 51 plus goal difference, better than anyone else. The top 4 was made up of Spurs, Arsenal and Liverpool with us. And then it was Chelsea, Man United, Villa, Newcastle, West Ham and Wolves that made the top 10. Fulham in 11th, and then it was Bournemouth, Brentford, Brighton, Crystal Palace and Leicester City and Burnley before a relegated side in Southampton, Sheffield United and Leeds United. Erling Haaland found himself 1 goal off his record of last season, 37 goals in 38 appearances of Premier League top goal scorer. Top in assists was Savinho. He couldn't get his 20 unfortunately due to injury, so he finished the season on 16. And top in clean sheets was Ederson with 17 clean sheets in 38 appearances. On the FA Community Shield, we also won that with 2 winners over Spurs on the opening day of the season. Emirates FA Cup, we were knocked out early on, and in the end, Arsenal, the side that knocked us out, went on to win by 3 goals to 2, or lose by 3 goals to 2 for Chelsea, who were winners of the Emirates FA Cup. On to the Carabao Cup, where Spurs got to the final and beat Chelsea by 4 goals to 2 on penalties. Into the American Challenge Cup and all that, we don't need to look at. The Champions League. Winners were the side that knocked us out, so we were knocked out by the eventual winners, which makes me feel a little bit easier. Vincent Kompany's Bayern Munich, round of 16. They knocked Manchester City out, went all the way to the final to be 2-1 winners. In the UEFA Europa League, it was Aston Villa, an English side, beating Antonio Conte's Napoli 3-1 in the final. In the UEFA Conference League, an English side win that one, Chelsea beating AC Milan by 1-0. Well, in other leagues, Everton and Nottingham Forest will be coming back up to the Premier League after a successful championship season. In the playoffs are Coventry, Hull City, Ipswich and West Bromwich Albion. We move on to the Barclays Women's Super League, which is won by Manchester City as well. Bunny Shaw banging goals in, I'm sure, for that City side. Ligue 1 is won by Paris Saint-Germain, 10 points clear of 2nd place Monaco. The Bundesliga, who wins that one? It is in fact, as we find it, the Bundesliga is won by Bayern, of course, 1 point clear Leverkusen for the Champions League winners. Vincent Kompany does the double. The Serie A is won by Inter, 7 points clear of 2nd place AC Milan. The Eredivisie in the Netherlands is won by Feyenoord, 2 points clear of PSV Eindhoven. They were level on points also with Ajax. Liga Portugal was won by Sporting, of course. They just outdo Benfica, a mile ahead of FC Porto. The Saudi Pro League is won by Al Hilal. Cristiano Ronaldo's Al Nassr down in 4th. And finally, La Liga, which is won by Real Madrid on 96 points, a mile ahead of Barcelona, Atletico and Atletico de Madrid in to 2nd to 4th positions. Now it's time for our player stats for the season. So our top 3 most used players this season were Rodri with 52 appearances, Erling Haaland with 51 appearances, and Ederson and Doku tied on 49. Our top 3 goal scorers were Erling Haaland with 55 goals in 51 appearances, Echeverri with 33 appearances, 16 goals, wow, and Brian Mbeumo 10 in 30, although I wouldn't count that really because those goals came for Brentford, 9 in 38 for Florian Wirtz. And top in assists, of course, Savinho, 42 appearances, 24 assists, he was insane. Wirtz 16 assists in 38, and Doku and Bayern tied on 11 after 49 and 45 appearances. But let's go for the full side and the full appearances. So starting off with Rodri, 52 games to club this season, now 92 rated, 7 goals, no assists, 19 clean sheets within the side. Haaland 55 goals and 6 assists in 51 appearances, now 93 rated. A 91 rated goalkeeper, Ederson, he's got 49 appearances, no goals but 2 assists and 19 clean sheets. Doku, 49 appearances, 84 rated now, 4 goals and 11 assists. Bayern, he also got in 45 appearances, 5 goals and 11 assists. Gvardiol, 43 games, 1 goal and no assist. Savinho, 42 games, only 5 goals but 24 assists. What a season, he had 85 rated now, would be 86, but of course he has been out injured for a while. Lewis, 41 appearances, 3 goals and 2 assists. Now 85 rated, Manu Akanji 87 rated, 41 games, no goals and no assists. Diaz 90 rated, 39 games, 1 goal, no assists. Varela got 2 assists in 38 appearances, 85 rated now. Florian Wirtz, his debut season at the club, 16 assists in that time, 9 goals in 38 appearances, and he was injured for around 3 or 4 months of the season as well, 90 rated Florian Wirtz. Oscar Bob still only 79, but developing, 6 assists, 1 goal and 37 appearances. Foden had a bit of a poor season really after a quick start to it, 36 appearances, 8 goals and 4 assists. Nunes got 7 assists and 2 goals in 35 appearances. That is very good return from Matheus Nunes. Echeverri, 33 appearances, 16 goals and 6 assists. He is going to be the future of this club. Brian Burmo, 10 goals and 2 assists in 30 appearances. He's decreased, unfortunately, due to that injury. Kyogo only got 8 goals and 2 assists in 26 appearances. He's not the player of the previous season. John Stones, 24 games, no goals and no assists. 86 rated on now, the 32-year-old. Katongo, he went on loan to Crystal Palace, only 73 rated at 21, but he's developed really well. 24 appearances for them, 2 goals and 1 assist. Piron, 79 rated now, a very good player. 20 games, no goals and 2 assists. Ake only played 19 games for this season, and he probably wants out. Devin Babama, in 14 appearances, scored 8 Premier League goals for Burnley. McAtee, in 13 Premier League games, scored 2 goals and 1 assist for Bournemouth. We expect that to make a permanent move. Babama's now 75 rated as well, by the way. Sissoko made 10 appearances for Leeds, 69 rated now. Jacob Wright also made 10 in midfield, 71 rated now. Tatera only 7 appearances for the club this season. McFarlane made only 1, as did Scott Carson. He's 40 now and his career is over. And Callum Doyle, only these stats aren't particularly right because of course they play in other competitions for the club, but Callum Doyle 77 rated now, O'Reilly 73, Sidibe 73 will look to be loaned out next season, the same for Joshua King who's 68. Rago is 69 rated now, Braithwaite 70, Emilio Lawrence 73, Matty Young 66, Giovanni Leone 68, Rupert 73, and Callum Phillips, who will make that move permanent, 77. So really good performance in a lot of these players, lots of goals and so on. And we have, if you look at our status anyway, the oldest player, can we look at that? The oldest player in our squad is a 40-year-old Scott Carson, and he's matched by Edison 32, Stones 32, and Kyogo Fudiashi 31, Ake 31. And the youngest player in our team is Sol Sidibe 19, joined by McFarlane, Leone, Young, and also a few others as well. That ends the season roundup. It's time to get into now the most prestigious part of this episode, other than Pep Guardiola leaving and tributes to him. It is the end of season awards voted for by you guys. So into the end of season awards and kicking things off with the Young Player of the Season award for the 25-26 season, Pep Guardiola's final year at Manchester City. 3 nominees for the Young Player of the Season award. Under 23 is how we get into it. These are, I think, the top 3 under 23 performing players of the season. Number 1 was Jeremy Doku. In 49 appearances, he got himself 4 goals and 11 assists. Number 2, Claudio Echeverri, 33 appearances for Pep Guardiola's side, 16 goals and 6 assists. Numbers-wise, he had an absolutely fantastic season. And a bit of an underrated young player, really, in the side is Oscar Bob. 6 assists and 1 goal in 37 appearances. Probably didn't play as many games as he wanted to, or perhaps deserved to. But you guys voted. My young player of the season, personally, would have been Claudio Echeverri. I thought he was like a key part of the side. And the winner of the young player of the season is, of course, Claudio Echeverri. What a season he had for the club. Absolutely unbelievable. And he's only around 80 rated, but I'm just really excited how he can continue his development and what sort of player he can continue to develop into. Some saying he could be the next Lionel Messi. Now on to the underrated player of the season. The 3 nominees were Manu Akanji at centre-back, who I thought was underrated, really. I really do think he was underrated throughout the season. No goals and no assists in 41 appearances, but these are the players not really in the statistical elements. They're not getting goals or assists, but they're the performance levels they are putting in. Alan Varela, who signed last season in January, has been fantastic since then. 38 appearances in midfield this year, no goals and 2 assists for himself from midfield. And then finally, City's goalkeeper, Edison. Been in the club for a very long time now. 2 assists, no goals, but I mean 2 assists from a goalkeeper situation is obviously unbelievable. All 3 did really well. I think Alan Varela certainly, and Manu Akanji to a big extent as well, are very underrated players in our side. But the underrated player of the season is going to be someone who started the most games out of these 3 players and was crucial throughout the season and made many crucial saves. That is, of course, Edison, who wins the Underrated Player of the Year award, deservedly so. His ability to save us in the big moments, pulled off so many big saves throughout the season. Yes, he has his moments where you think, what is he doing? He's made a mistake there, he should have saved that. But when it comes to making big saves, I don't think there's ever been anyone better at Manchester City in the recent years, because he has been the number 1 under Pep Guardiola. He's been the number 1 under us. And things could change next season. He might not be number 1 next year. I'm not exactly sure. in this series, but he's been absolutely fantastic. Ederson deserves to be winning the Underrated Player of the Season award. And before we get into the massive one, which is the Player of the Season award, we're going to look at the signing of the season. 3 massive signings that made massive impacts in their games to the club. One that only joined in January, but was still very impressive. 2 that have played key parts throughout the season. Starting off with Florian Wirtz, 38 appearances for the club. He had a couple of injury issues, the club record signed him, and if he hadn't, I'm sure his statistics would have been even better. 16 assists and 9 goals, replacing the big gap, the creative gap left by Kevin De Bruyne, and boy did he, really step in. And not only did he be the man to step in to be, fill that creative burden, but so did other signing nominated as well in Alex Baena. 45 appearances for the club, so he made more appearances than Wirtz. He played a bit of a deeper role this year, Baena, alongside the midfielder. 11 assists and 5 goals in that time, not far off really Wirtz in terms of numbers, and he cost a lot less, but he's been absolutely fantastic as well. And then the final nominee was Brian Mbeumo, who came in from Brentford and made an impact. Sadly, his time at City in his first season, his first 6 months, were hampered towards the end of the season by injury, which meant he did miss the last few games of the season. But 10 goals and 2 assists in 30 appearances shows the impact he had in that Manchester City side. Now, for my sign of the season, I think you'd have to say Florian Wirtz probably is the best performing signing. But personally, I think value for money wise, I don't think you can get any better than Alex Baena and how he's performed for Manchester City. However, you guys voted differently, and the player of the season is Florian Wirtz, a massive fan favourite amongst you guys. I mean, he's absolutely amazing as a footballer. I don't think City could ever do any better to replace Kevin De Bruyne than bringing in Florian Wirtz, and he has made a massive impact on our season and what we have achieved. And it's time now for the main one. It is the Player of the Season. And here are the 3 nominees, starting off with Savinho, who amazingly in 42 appearances got 5 goals and 24 assists. He was completely the creative maestro in this Manchester City side. As always, City's goal king Erling Haaland, 55 goals in only 51 appearances and 6 assists in that time as well. Statistically, those 2 were by far the standouts of the season. Savinho got injured and missed quite a few different parts of the season. I think if he hadn't done, then imagine how many more goals assists he would have got. Assist-wise, he actually, I know Wirtz came in to replace De Bruyne, but in terms of numbers, Savinho from those wide areas was the man who replaced De Bruyne with his creativity. We also have Rodri, who is the best midfielder in world football. 52 appearances, he got 7 goals, no assists actually, but 7 goals from holding midfield. A class player, and he scored some absolutely ridiculously class goals as well this season. So, Player of the Season, who did you guys vote for? Well, my Player of the Season, I would have gone for something different. I think with the creativity he brought to the side, he was unbelievable, and I think it was deserved that Savinho would lift Player of the Season award, but you guys voted a little bit differently. You voted for, again, another fan favourite who always seems to win it. The winner of Player of the Season for Season 2 is, of course, Erling Haaland. Congratulations to Erling Haaland. I mean, 55 goals in 51 appearances. Unbelievable footballer, Manchester City, an unbelievable team, and another fantastically unbelievable season. Season 3, we're going to make very different changes to the side. We're going to imagine that Manchester City are in a parallel universe. That is the way we're going to think about things. Pep Guardiola is going to leave, and we're going to go into a parallel universe where we're going to make maybe signings that maybe won't join City in real life, haven't joined City in real life, and so on. But signings that I think City could have made, should have made maybe at times if we were in Season 3 in this EA Sports FC25 universe. And once Season 3, which I think I'm pretty sure will be our final season, then there will be changes. There may be a reboot series with the likes of Omar Mamouche and Abu Kadir Kusanov and Vita Rice, of course, signing for Manchester City in real life, but they're not in the game at the moment. I mean, Vita Rice isn't, I don't think. And we aren't going to sign those players. We can't sign those players. It's going to be a complete alternate universe. Something a bit different for Season 3. A new idea, a different idea, a few different players. Some players that maybe other teams in the Premier League have signed, but I still want to target. And so on like that. Just give something a little bit different, and then we'll get back into the more. I mean, try and keep it realistic, of course, but then get back into more the reboot around the realism, around the signs that Manchester City have made. Please like the video if you haven't already. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. Consider joining the We Are City Members Club. You can see Season 3. It's already out there. It's already on. It's already coming. For those guys, you get it extended episodes and early. Trust me, it's really worth the small nominal fee that you pay every month. And we'll see you guys next time.